Welcome to Rave and Rant, where we praise the praiseworthy and roast the rest. Each episode, we dive into reviews and tips on businesses, health, products, and services that matter to you. Now, let's meet our dynamic hosts. Julian, a seasoned entrepreneur and tech enthusiast who keeps you ahead of the curve. And Olivia, our health and wellness expert with unfiltered takes on the latest trends. Together, they'll help you navigate what's worth your time and what's not. So sit back, relax, and get ready for an episode packed with honest opinions and valuable insights. This is Rave and Rant.
Okay, so we've all been there, you know? You get up, you're like laser focused. I need that file or that glass of water, maybe that specific charger.
Yep, know the feeling.
You walk across the house, maybe just into the next room, cross that doorway, and bam, just nothing. Complete cognitive blank.
Mm-hmm. And you're just standing there, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely certain that whatever it was, it mattered.
Exactly. But the actual thing you needed, just gone. Vanished into thin air.
And, you know, that sense of urgency, I think that's really the defining trait here.
You think so?
Yeah, it's not just, oh, I forgot the milk. It's that almost panicky feeling, that stress that, you know, some critical thought just slipped away. And honestly, the panic just makes it harder to remember.
Right, it feeds itself. Well, that universally relatable kind of agonizing moment of standing in a doorway like a confused statue, it's now fully documented.
It is.
You shared some really interesting sources detailing a deep dive into this exact phenomenon, and it turns out it now has this great, very memorable name.
Highly brandable, even.
Huh? Yeah, maybe. So we're going to dive deep into what's causing this little brain glitch, and maybe more interestingly, how this single word has kind of spawned this whole fascinating marketplace of solutions.
And that word, that very memorable word, is Flumberico.
Flumberico. Okay, let's start there. Let's just make sure we're all on the same page. What exactly is Flumberico? You said it's moving from just a concept to something more commercial.
That's right. It's pronounced Flumberico, Flum, B-E-H-R-E-Co. And yeah, it's picking up steam fast. Basically, Flumberico names that specific short-term memory blank, the one triggered when you change context.
Like walking through a doorway.
Yeah, exactly. Typically moving from one distinct place to another. But crucially, and this is the important part we touched on, it's magnified by that feeling, that sort of stressful sense that the original intention was important.
Okay, so it's the double whammy. The blankness. Plus that emotional kick of urgency.
Precisely. That emotional signature is what makes it, well, distinctive. It gives us a shared kind of non-judgmental label for this really common cognitive hiccup that, let's face it, most adults probably experience, several times a week.
Oh, easily. Okay, so let's dig into the science a bit. If the doorway is the scene of the crime, what does cognitive science actually say about why? Why is our intention so fragile right at that moment?
Yeah, good question. It connects directly to something psychologists call the doorway effect. It's really about context-dependent memory.
It's text-dependent. Okay.
So your working memory,
Yeah.
think of it like your brain's RAM, its scratch pad for what you're doing right now. It's
Mhm.
quite limited.
Right.
And when you physically move between environments, especially rooms that look different or have different functions, your brain kicks off this rapid context update.
So wait, are we basically telling our brain to sort of reboot its short-term memory every single time we walk through a door?
In a manner of speaking, yes. It's like an efficiency mechanism that kind of backfires in this case.
Yeah.
Your brain prioritizes scanning and making sense of the new environment.
Over holding on to the thought from the old environment.
Exactly. To efficiently process all the new sensory input, the new room, what's in it, what you might do in it, the brain sort of, bumps out the intention that was strongly tied to where you just were. That change in context creates the gap.
Okay, that actually makes the trigger pretty predictable then. And if we know the trigger...
We can prepare for it. We can have countermeasures ready.
Yeah, and the sources you shared had some great, really practical tips, quick self-check, things you can do right in that moment to kind of cut down the anxiety, turn the panic into just a routine recovery.
And being able to recover quickly is so important because, like we said, the anxiety just digs the hole deeper. So for you listening, if you find yourself frozen in that doorway, feeling that Flumberico moment,
What's step one?
Step 1 is repetition. Retrace your last couple of steps, either physically or just in your mind. Try to reconnect with the original context, the why from the last room.
Okay, Retrace. Makes sense. What's next?
Second, if you can grab even a tiny piece of the thought, say it out loud. Even if it's just kitchen something, vocalizing can help solidify it.
Right. And third.
Third, scan the new room for an anchor. Is there a prop? Like your keys on the table, a coffee cup, a notebook, something that might ground the intention or give you a clue.
So the goal is always to quickly somehow restore that old context or anchor the memory in the new one before it completely evaporates.
Exactly. Now, we absolutely have to make a crucial distinction here because we are talking about memory lapses.
Ah, yes. Good point.
Yeah.
The disclaimer.
This term, Flumberico, it applies strictly to these everyday, short-lived, contact-triggered blanks, things that usually resolve in, less than a minute.
Normal brain farts, basically.
Pretty much. If you're experiencing memory lapses that are frequent, getting worse, lasting a long time, or genuinely interfering with your daily life, getting dressed, managing finances, things like that, that is not Flumberico. That's something different and really needs a proper medical evaluation.
Definitely. So we're focused squarely on this common, non-clinical human quirk. Okay, so we have this thing, everyone knows it, and now it has a name, Flumberico. And you mentioned it's becoming commercial.
It really has, like often happens, this catchy shorthand Flumberico. It's kind of transformed into a whole commercial ecosystem.
So what does that look like? What are people actually selling or offering under the Flumberico banner?
Well, what's kind of fascinating is how quickly the term got adopted and used to frame basically 6 distinct types of offerings. And knowing these categories is really useful because it helps you, the listener, match what you need or expect with the right kind of product or service.
Okay, 6 types. Let's walk through them. What's the first one?
First up is product. This is usually physical hardware or maybe a neatly packaged digital utility.
Like a gadget.
Exactly. A popular example seems to be this thing called a Flumberico door prompt. It's like a little tag you mount on your door frame, maybe uses NFC, and it pairs with a small eek display.
Oh, interesting. What does it do?
It's supposed to automatically show your current task or intention right there on the display as you pass through the doorway. Kind of an external reminder.
Huh. And what's the damage for something like that?
Looks like the hardware starter kits are generally clustering somewhere between, say, $29 and maybe $99 US.
Okay, so a physical anchor device. Got it. Category 2.
Category 2 is service. This is where you get human expertise. Think coaches, consultants, people who help with workflow redesign, implementing specific protocols to manage these context switches better.
So less about a device, more about process improvement with a guide.
Right. You might buy, say, a 4-week coaching package that promises to help you reduce unplanned context switching in your workday. Pricing here is usually per session, maybe $75 to $200 an hour or per session.
Okay, so we've got a gadget, we've got a guru. The third one has to be software, right? An app.
You guessed it. App or platform. Usually delivered as software as a service, often mobile first. These apps focus on things like cloud sync, integrations with your existing task lists or calendars.
And what would a Flumberico feature look like in an app?
Maybe something like a focus doorway feature. It could use location or even just app switching as a trigger. So if you unlock your phone near a tagged room, or maybe switch from your email to a project management tool, it pops up a persistent reminder of your main goal for that session.
Sticky notes for your phone's context switching.
Kind of. And the pricing is typical app stuff. Premium plans maybe around $3 to $9 US a month.
Okay. Now, you mentioned a fourth type. How is that different from a product?
Good question. The fourth type is methodology or framework. This is key because it's about a documented, structured way of working. It doesn't necessarily require buying specific software or hiring anyone.
Like a technique you learn and apply yourself.
Exactly. The prime example floating around is this sequence called frame, gate, anchor.
Frame, gate, anchor. Okay, break that down.
Simple idea. Frame the task clearly in your mind before you get up to move. Gate. Treat the doorway itself as a checkpoint. Pause briefly, maybe just mentally, and restate your goal as you cross the threshold. And anchor. When you arrive in the new location, immediately connect the intention to something concrete. Grab that physical prop, or maybe pin a digital note.
So it's purely process-driven, no tech needed necessarily.
Correct. It's all about the discipline of following the steps.
Okay, hang on a second, though. If this methodology, frame, gate, anchor, provides a really solid technique, and it's essentially free, it just requires discipline, why are people shelling out, $99 for a door gadget or $200 for a coaching session? Doesn't the free framework kind of undercut the paid stuff?
That is an excellent point and a really critical distinction. The difference really comes down to Enforcement and integration.
Enforcement.
Yeah, the methodology, it relies purely on your own self-discipline. You have to remember to do it and do it consistently. The paid options offer things the methodology doesn't. Well, the hardware product offers enforcement. It literally forces a prompt into your field of vision. You can't ignore it as easily as an internal intention. The app offers integration. It might sync your task across your phone, watch, computer, making it seamless. The service offers personalization and accountability. A coach tailors the routine to your specific job or life and helps you stick with it.
Ah, okay. So while the method is free, the other models are selling things like automation, reduced friction, maybe guaranteed consistency because there's an external system involved.
Precisely. They're selling convenience, reliability, and sometimes deeper integration into existing digital workflows. The value proposition is different.
That clarifies it nicely. Okay, so that's 4 types. What are the last 2 categories of Flumberico offerings?
Right. Number 5 is standard or protocol, so it's a bit more technical. Think like a lightweight data format, a schema, that defines context change events.
For smart devices.
Yeah, so maybe your smart lights, your phone, your laptop could all broadcast or understand these events on your local network. It allows devices from different companies to potentially coordinate and understand where you are and what you might be trying to do contextually.
Interoperability for focus states. Interesting. Okay, and the last one, number 6.
Number 6 is community or initiative. These are more like groups, maybe online forums, maybe local meetups, focused on promoting what they might call attention hygiene or context-aware design principles. They often use the Playful Flumberico branding to kind of build awareness and share tips.
Got it. Products, services, apps, methodologies, standards, and communities. That covers a lot of ground.
It does. It shows how resonant the core idea is.
Okay, let's try and make this even more concrete. Can we look at some specific before and after examples? Like, how does using one of these things actually change things in different parts of life? Let's start with just, personal life, individual productivity.
Sure. The classic scenario, right? Before Flumberico Solutions, you're in the living room, realize your phone's dying, you head to the kitchen specifically to get the charger.
Yep, been there.
But on the way, maybe you see a notification pop up on your tablet on the counter. You stop to read it, deal with it, and then you walk back to the living room completely empty-handed.
Yeah, and annoyed.
Exactly. Frustration's high. And that little detour and reorientation probably cost you, 3 minutes? Maybe more if you have to go back again.
Okay, so that's the before. What's the after look like using maybe that hardware product you mentioned?
Right. So after installing, say, that Flumberico door prompt, as you leave the living room, you tap the door tag that you've programmed to say, next, charger for living room.
Okay.
The tag then maybe pushes a little banner notification to your phone's lock screen. It stays there for 5 minutes, so even if you get momentarily distracted in the kitchen.
The reminder is right there on your phone when you pick it up again.
Exactly. That external context-aware prompt breaks the pattern, prevents the lapse. Result, faster retrieval, less frustration, maybe fewer interruptions overall throughout the day because you're completing these small tasks more efficiently.
I can see that adding up. Okay, let's scale up. Context switching is a huge pain point in teams and business settings. How does Flumberico apply there?
Yeah, digitally triggered Flumberico moments are super common in workplaces. So, before. Imagine a manager, they're deep in a project planning tool, maybe finalizing priorities on a digital board. Then they have to jump into a scheduled stand-up meeting.
Right, total context shift.
Totally. And in that switch, they forget the top 2 roadblocks they specifically wanted to raise with the team. So the meeting starts, and there's this awkward pause, or they have to scramble mentally. What were those critical issues again? Context has to be rebuilt verbally, wasting everyone's time.
Okay, painful and inefficient. How could a Flumberico service, or maybe that framework, address this specific transition?
So, after. Maybe the team implements the gate step from the methodology we talked about. They could even automate it slightly, using a workflow tied to their shared calendar.
How would that work?
So maybe 1 minute before the scheduled meeting start time, an automated trigger posts a persistent digital note like in their team chat or pinned in the meeting window. This note explicitly lists the meeting's top goal and maybe those 2 critical blockers the manager identified earlier.
Ah, so the crucial info is pushed to them right before the context switch happens.
Exactly. The manager enters the meeting, virtual or physical, with that immediate relevant focus. It minimizes that reorientation tax for the whole group. Much smoother start.
That time saving, the reduction in that reorientation friction must be massive for developers too, right? They're constantly bouncing between code, documentation, test results.
Oh, it's absolutely essential there. The cost of context switching for developers is huge. So, 4. A developer's debugging. They switch from their code editor to look something up in the online documentation, and they forget the exact name of the failing test or the specific function parameter they needed to check.
Happens all the time. So frustrating.
Totally. Then they have to switch back, find it again, switch again. After, they're using maybe a Flumberico aware app or an IDE plugin. It uses a pre-switch hook.
A hook, yeah.
Yeah, like a little script that runs automatically when it detects you're switching main applications. It captures key context, like the current code branch name and the name of the failing test.
And then
it maybe injects a little summary right at the top of the documentation window or tab they just opened. Debugging branch X, focusing on test Y.
wow. Okay, so the context follows them across the digital threshold.
Precisely. Context restoration becomes almost instant. And you think, okay, maybe it saves 30 seconds each time. But how many times does a developer switch contexts in an hour? Those saved seconds add up incredibly fast into real productivity gains and reduced frustration.
Absolutely. Okay, let's circle back quickly to the name itself. Flumberico. You said it sounds invented.
It absolutely is. It's a coined word through and through.
Deliberately created.
Yes, the sources suggest the creators designed it very specifically for memorability and, frankly, brandability. The phonetics, that flum, B-E-H-R, eco, rhythm, it's kind of bouncy. It's meant to evoke related words like flummoxed or flustered.
But in a lighthearted way.
Exactly. The goal was apparently to maintain a non-judgmental, almost playful tone for what is, after all, a very common, very human behavior. Helps the term stick and spread without making people feel bad about experiencing it.
Clever. Okay, so given that this term has spread and is now attached to all these different commercial things, products, apps, services, how do we as learners trying to understand this space cut through the marketing noise? How do we figure out if we're looking at a useful piece of hardware versus, say, a low-value coaching service, especially if they're all using the same buzzword?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yep.
Verification is essential because the term is being applied so broadly across those 6 different delivery models. The key is to focus on the right signals for the type of offering you think you're looking at.
Okay, signals. Like what, if I'm looking at something that seems like a product or an app?
For products and apps, you need to verify the technical stuff. Look for concrete details. Is there a version number? What specific platforms does it work with? Requires iOS 17 or Android 14? Are there official badges from the App Store or Google Play? Are the subscription tiers and features clearly spelled out?
So tangible proof of a working piece of technology.
Right. If it's all vague promises, be skeptical.
And what about if it looks more like a service offering, like that coaching example?
Then you look for signals of human expertise and process. Are there clearly defined deliverables? What exactly will they do for you? Is there a transparent onboarding process described? Can you see examples of statements of work, SOWs? Is there a clear way to book consultations with specific pricing hourly, project-based?
Look for the structure around the human delivery.
Exactly. If they talk about workflow audits, client case studies, custom implementation plans, it's likely a service. If it's just inspirational talk, maybe less so.
Okay, that helps differentiate. Now, practically speaking, when I'm searching online and getting flooded with results for Flumberico, what's your pro tip for quickly confirming what something actually is and who's behind it?
Be super specific in your search queries. Don't just type Flumberico. Add the category you're interested in. Try official Flumberico app, or a Flumberico hardware prompt, or a Flumberico protocol GitHub.
Filter by the type of offering.
Yes. And then, critically, triangulate.
Right.
Don't just trust the search result description. Click through. Check the official documentation on the provider's website. If it's an app, verify the publisher name in the actual App Store listing. Does it match the website? That cross-checking helps confirm the delivery model and ensures your expectations align with what you might actually purchase or sign up for.
Good advice. Okay, so wrapping things up. This whole deep dive, really, it feels like the core value here is giving a name, a simple, unique label from Flumberico to what was previously just this unnamed kind of stressful cognitive glitch.
I think that's exactly it. Just naming that specific moment, that context-triggered blank, it immediately reduces the uncertainty. It lowers the stress because it's not some mysterious failure. It's a thing, Flumberico.
It makes it less personal, maybe.
Yes. It converts that moment of internal panic into a predictable cue. A cue that says, okay, time for my quick recovery routine. Retrace, vocalize, anchor. And the fact that such a simple routine, often triggered just by consciously acknowledging the physical threshold, can measurably boost task completion. That's pretty powerful stuff.
It really is. And you mentioned the doorway effect hits everyone across age groups. So if this simple act, naming the phenomenon, adopting a quick threshold routine, like just pausing to state your goal, if that can give back tangible time and focus, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other invisible cognitive hurdles are tripping us up in daily life?
Exactly. What else is costing us time and focus simply because it hasn't been given a friendly, memorable name yet? We've talked a lot about physical doorways.
But you hinted at digital ones earlier.
Right. Think about the digital equivalents. Switching from a deep work document to check a distracting social media feed, or even just switching mental contexts, like from your personal email account to your professional one. Where else do you hit that kind of digital Flumberico moment?
Where your intention just evaporates in the transition.
Yeah. Where could applying a simple, repeatable anchor or a conscious gate process protect your focus and make that digital transition less costly?
Yeah.
It's something for you, the listener, to maybe observe in your own digital habits this week. Where are your hidden doorways?
That is definitely a thought to chew on, identifying our own personal Flumberico zones, physical or digital. Okay, that's a wrap on this deep dive.
That's a wrap for this episode of Rave and Rant. We hope you found our insights helpful and thought-provoking. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss out on our latest reviews and tips. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a rating and review. It really helps us reach more listeners like you. Have a topic you'd like us to cover or something you want us to rave or rant about? Connect with us on social media or visit our website to share your suggestions. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, keep exploring what's worth your time and what's not. This is Rave and Rant, where we praise the praiseworthy and roast the rest.